No, go ahead, Jenna.
No,
You're,
I know what you're
like,
saying.
no, what
And
you
I don't
said,
want to
there's a
debate
couple of
like
them.
setting a precedent. This is like my whole theory of change is that the behaviors have to entirely change.
Exactly.
Jeremy is now entirely. I am not identifying how I'm not packing the bag, figuring out if the cleats still fit, figuring out how they're getting to and from practice. This is where we have got to stop being fail safes for our men, and we
Exactly.
have to raise sons differently. My fear, which I'm curious if Master Liberty agrees with me or not, is I think we are so far away from rock bottom for so many of the people who need to go to the grocery store with us that we are like a decade away from that epiphany on their part, whereas so many other people are like, I feel like I see it already. Like I can already be at the rock bottom and only want to be building back up. Where you have so many Joes who are like, let's give it a chance. Are you sure this tariff plan won't work?
Master Liberty made a comment that says, we've given control of our economy to the bankers. 80% of bankers in America are Republican.
Yeah.
80% of the wealth management industry is Republican. So even if I control the money, unless I go out and find a wealth manager, if I have wealth to invest or a retirement account to manage that is Democratic, which is only 1 in 5. Um, the way they tell you to manage your portfolio, the way they suggest you invest, it all is along their bias and their mindset. So literally we're 80% controlled by one type of mindset in the movement of capital here in America.
And I do want
I just
to.
had my money. I had my money in Elvest. They just closed their doors.
Oh, I told them today that Sally Krawcheck literally could only make it to the Series B and C. That was it.
And
and
she was
and
our
now
hope for like a decade.
5 women in fintech have made it to the Series B. 5. One hand. What happens to women when they get to the Series B is that men come in and buy their companies on the cheap, then in 3 weeks or 4 weeks later, literally sell their company for even raise the next round of capital without having done anything other than change the leadership from female to male.
yes. Wait,
Statistically.
wasn't that the thing that we talked with your mom? There, it's the glass ceiling where it's like when companies are really in fucking trouble, they bring in women to be the
So,
fixers.
so this is women are only offered CEO responsibilities when men think the risk is too high for them to be seen as successful as CEOs of
As to
Fortune
being
500
the
companies.
one that failed,
Correct.
right?
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
women will come in and be offered the roles because they literally are like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm primed. I can do this. And this is their only chance to get a seat in the door. In the finance world, you know how you become a managing director?
Hmm.
The managing director dies.
I mean,
And who make it to the role. But it is highly rare. And I happen to be positioned for a
the
different
glass
reason.
cliff.
Yeah, the glass cliff. I happen to be positioned for a slightly different reason. I was not accelerated because of a DEI initiative. I was accelerated to reduce my economics, meaning I was making more than the CEOs of the companies at the age of 25. And I was asked, like, hey, could we move you into a managerial position so we can
Because they
shift the
needed to cut
economics
your.
pay you to paying lower economics to the younger people?
Did you buy
So
into that bullshit? You were too.
uh, I had a
Little
lot
bit.
of I had a lot of words. I had a lot of words in 25. But let's say, I kept being pushed and pushed and pushed up the path because no one knew how to deal with it, right? And so I want to see, and also with the hope that I would train the next generation of leaders on Wall Street, which I had the privilege and pleasure of doing. And those people still exist today. And obviously, I'm not from traditional Wall Street. For people that don't know me on the chat, I'm one of 12 people to pioneer environmental markets on Wall Street. So I built renewable energy markets, carbon markets, cap and trade programs, wrote legislation, all this kind of crazy stuff. Built a whole market around direct to consumer. How do we live carbon neutral lives? And some of the first green utility programs in the United States. I honestly, I look at this and I'm like, we have such a challenge with whether or not it's really who people think of as leaders. What kind of values and behaviors do you have to espouse to be considered a great leader? Make America great again, make American healthy again, make America wealthy again. I literally look at make America wealthy again and I think to myself, you will do nothing but make America weaker again, and weaker in every action because you fail to espouse what it truly takes to be a great leader of a nation. A great leader of a nation brings forth diversity of thought and experience and will truly build a cabinet of people that help them be their best selves in leading a nation filled with that diversity of thought and experience. And until we have a group of people that rise with intention, the way Cory Booker rose for 25 hours, whether Congress is really functional or not. Jenna, I know we are going to have so many conversations in the land of and. I am so proud of you for like creating this space for conversation. And it is a privilege and an honor to be in the chat room with Master Liberty and Collision and UL and Joe. And I just
Who?
know, like, yes,
Ah.
I know that this is just the beginning of something, so I hope people will subscribe
Yes.
if they have it in their bandwidth to do so. And I hope they'll continue to come onto the chat with us. And I am way past bedtime for my kids.
I want to
All right.
flag. I want to flag really quick collision, knowing that both of you identify as men. I believe it does feel different, even for somebody like me who spends a lot of time talking on Fox, to have mostly men in the chat room listening
In
to
the
what
chat.
has been primarily an all female oriented conversation. So it is
They're
like
like,
moments
who's
of
that
like
Puerto
this.
Rican?
What?
They're probably like, who's that Puerto Rican girl? Get her out from
She is
Indiana.
Yucatan and she's never had COVID. Her
Never had COVID?
ancestry.com, her ancestry.com bio is the most wild of all of
Reads.
them.
It reads like it. I'll have to send it to Jenna.
She's
She'll send it
like
to you soon. I'm
it's
listening.
so fun. It's so fun.
I'm
But
2% Jewish. I'm chosen. I'm gonna claim I'm chosen.
I'm going to echo our closing thoughts on Master of Liberty pointing out what Washington said as he left the scripting
Nice
of the
farewell.
Declaration of Independence. We are building a democracy if we can keep it. I don't feel like we are keeping it and protecting it. I don't know what that means. I'm scared. I don't know the pathway forward, but I know the conversations have to happen like this. So thank you, everybody. Ellie, I love you. Sam, we
I
banked
love
a
you.
lot of time today. Get some
Yeah.
rest.